Hey guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? So, I guess you could call this rant social commentary with Shirtless Guy, but if you do, I'm not sure which episode it is. It's either 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but you can call this rant that. It's one of the two, perhaps. But I want to rant about my God thing again for a while. If that's okay. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll. You know, God is a funny thing, and we discussed that a little bit. First of all, we don't know that God even exists. So he already gets a lot of credit for not proving that he even exists. In other words, he might not exist, which means a lot of thought, time, money, and energy might have been put towards something isn't even real. If God doesn't exist, then what of the Dark Ages? What of the times when people were tortured for not accepting Jesus Christ? What of all the wars fought in the name of Christianity? And, you know, like I said, the Dark Ages, burning witches and stuff like that, all for something that might not even exist, which is a finite possibility. It's a non-zero possibility that there is no God. Therefore, there's a non-zero possibility that we have done heinous, horrendous, awful things to each other and otherwise for something that didn't exist or doesn't exist, which in my book sounds pretty negative. But then again, there's the next step. Suppose God does exist. Woohoo, isn't that great? Then he still gets more credit than he deserves. I exist. You know, Jimmy, Shirtless Guy exists. Every one of you that know me know I exist. Well, good enough. If God exists, then fair enough. He has that too. But not everybody likes Shirtless Guy. Not everybody likes me, and that's okay. That's everybody's right to not like me or to like me. Well, then why do people act like we don't have that right with God? Even if God exists, I have the right to not like him. I don't have to obey him, serve him, become a Christian, accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior just because God exists. That's an extra step, and I don't have to take that. And it's logical not to take that for many reasons, which I might go into in a minute. So if God exists, I have the natural, logical, and freedom of religion right to not like him anyway and serve Satan if I want to. Not only do I have the right to do that, it's actually logical to do that. It is actually logical to worship Satan on many levels. So, if God exists, I still worship Satan. If he doesn't, I'm an atheist. Problem? I don't see one, not from a logical point of view. From a peer pressure, social pressure, political pressure point of view, perhaps, but that's all negative shit that only stupid or weak people buy into, and I'm not stupid or weak, so I don't buy into it. Ergo, I have religious freedom. Ergo, if there's a God, I worship Satan. If there's not, I'm an atheist. Fair enough. Why do I worship Satan? Why is that logical? Because God's an asshole. I don't have to worship somebody that I don't like, and I don't have to worship an asshole. By your fruits you shall know them. That's a verse in the Bible. By God's fruits you shall know him. Not because he had somebody write God is love for him. That's one person's writing. Doesn't prove that true. Not only that, his actions, if that is true, his actions should measure up to that, and his actions do not. Ergo, God is not love. And ergo, I have every logical and political right and reason to not worship God, i.e. be a Satanist, which I am, if there's a God. I have that right, and it's logical to do that. I don't see a problem. Political, peer pressure, love you guys, peer pressure, whatever, may come into play, but that's nothing new in the world. If I'm being persecuted for my faith as a Satanist, that's actually admirable on my part. If I'm suffering as a minority, and if I'm persecuted for my beliefs and as a Satanist, then I'm actually doing a noble thing by keeping that, staying to my Satanism. The weak, ignoble thing is give in to the peer pressure. Okay, I'm sorry, don't hurt me, please like me, I'll be a Christian. That's weak and stupid. I'm not. So ergo, I keep my satanic beliefs intact and throw all the peer pressure you want at me. That's not proof you're right. That's just proof you have power and you decide to do that. I can go hit a dude. I can go hit a dude. Doesn't prove he deserved it. Doesn't prove that he's in the wrong. I just hit him. Well, you persecute me for being a Satanist and whatever. Doesn't prove you right. It just means you have the power to do so, and you did. Rightness has nothing to do with it. So I almost stepped on a lizard, but I did not. I don't like to hurt any living thing, and I missed, and I didn't step on the little lizard. Anyway. And Satanism is also logical, not only because God's an asshole. For evidence, just read the Bible, LOL. Satan is a good guy. Satan did nothing that bad, and Satan actually does good and helps us. All Satan did is tempt Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve are the ones that did it. All Satan did is tempt them. Well, good for him. So, that's actually logical to tempt someone into not obeying an asshole. Adam and Eve did it. So, but yet Satan's to blame for just suggesting it. If Satan is bad, then Adam and Eve are beyond bad. Yeah, we all come from them, which makes us worse than Satan if we come from them. And you know, we don't hate ourselves; we love ourselves. There we go. I love Satan. All he did is tempt Adam and Eve. All he did is tempt Jesus. He didn't make the rules. He didn't punish anyone. He didn't set out the penalty for eating the fruit, which God did, or for bowing to Satan if Jesus had done that, which God would have done, or sending people to hell, which God does, not Satan. God's a major asshole. I don't have to worship him even if he exists. It's not a matter of I believe in him, now I'm saved, because I'm not. I don't like the dude. I like Satan. The only law in Satanism, the only rule, the only commandment is do what thou wilt. Yes, you don't get to do anything you want. That's, we all have logical things that we do and things that we don't do. But Satan does not demand perfection. Satan does not demand perfect worship. Satan just says, do what you feel is right. That's what I believe in. I'm not Satan. I'm not that good. I'm not that great. I'm not that powerful. But I do believe in that. I believe in do what thou wilt. Do what you feel is right. You might do better than you do if you just do things because somebody told you to, or you're afraid of going to hell if you don't, or you're afraid of people, what they think of you if you don't, or you're afraid of people laughing at you if you don't, hell if you don't, your church kicking you out if you don't. That's all force works anyway. It's all charades. But do what thou wilt is do what you really feel is right. I think I have a conscience. I think things are right, things are not. And I try to do the best shirtless guy I can. But I'm not perfect, and I don't have to be under Satanism, because Satan doesn't demand perfect worship. Satan does not demand perfect worship. God does. With God, one sin and you'd suffer forever in hell forever. Because you sinned one time. That's an asshole that made that up. Well, Satan, just do your best. And I do. And actually, I'm very hard on myself. I actually am hard on myself. I expect a lot from myself. Whenever I goof up, I'm really hard on myself. I put myself on a short leash. So what I want to do now? Worship God who has an infinitely short leash that can make that leash even shorter. So short that there's already condemnation before I even stepped into the fucking church. Not for me. And it doesn't have to be, because we live in America, which has freedom of religion. Therefore, I have the political and intellectual and logical right to be a Satanist. Okay, sounds good to me. Anyway, this has been Social Commentary with Shirtless Guy, episode 4 or 5. I have to check out which one it is. I think I did a 4, but I might have deleted it. I don't remember or know. Anyway, live a guy's peace, don't rock away.